What's up everybody, I'm Armin van Buuren. I'm currently at the Ministry of Sound. But for those who haven't really started DJing yet, or they want to know a little bit more about DJing in general, let me give you some tips. This is where it all begins and ends. It's the CD wallet. I'm making kind of a big deal out of this because most of the DJing preparation starts actually at home, in your living room with a cup of tea. I'll show you what I've done here. My CD wallet is actually pretty organized. I actually bought myself a printer, and as you can see, a lot of my CDs, I'll hold it up, have great labels. I only burn one track per CD, and I put my keys on every CD so I know what key I'm in when I'm mixing to the next record. So another thing that I use, right now I'm using this Pioneer CD players for this demonstration and the Pioneer mixer. Make sure that the mix is in stereo. You'll be surprised how many mixers actually switch to mono. There are 4 faders here. For the demonstration I'm only using 2 CD players. I have a little box of secrets. And this box contains the cue cards that I use a lot for my DJing. And cue cards are nothing else but pre-programmed cue points on a CD. So I can jump to whatever section on a record I want. Actually, I haven't seen a lot of DJs use these, so use them because it gives you an advantage, especially on festivals. I'll explain that later. Alright, now let's grab some tunes. 2 tunes. One of them is an intro mix. It's always nice to have a little intro when you start your set, so people actually know that there's a different DJ playing. So at home, I did an edit of a track that I really liked, combine it with another track. Just made it a little easy for myself. If you start tweaking at the beginning of your set, you might make you a little nervous when you're standing in front of a big crowd. So my advice is, if you want to start with an intro, make it at home, burn it to a CD, then you're more relaxed and you can get more into it. This is an intro I made from a tune from Jerome Isma, a tune from Arna, a producer from Toronto, and Let There Be Light. I made this intro for an event called Trance Energy, and it just sets the tone, the mood for the atmosphere for the night. It can make the crowd go crazy, get them excited when they're ready for it. Simple kick drum usually does the work, especially after a long intro, to make the crowd go crazy. Less is more, as they say. Now, for my second tune, I'll show you. I've done my homework. I know this tune is in F sharp, so I've actually written it down. It's in 130 F sharp. So my next tune is 131 F sharp. So I know my second mix will, if I have it in sync, I know it will sound okay. Because this track is in 130 F sharp, and this is 131 F sharp, which is almost the same tune. So, now what I've done with the second tune, I've made some cue points. That's just, I stored the cue points on this cue card information, put the cue card in here, and it actually, the CD player now remembers the cue points that I pre-programmed at home. I've programmed some starting points, because if I normally would put in the CD, you would get this. Now I've programmed the cue points, and with the call button I can recall the cue points that I programmed at home, which is the first kick drum of the track. Again, it saves me a lot of time, so I don't have to look for the cue point when I'm looking at a crowd. I'd much rather spend my time interacting with the fans, looking for some other decent tunes, than trying to find the cue points. So what I've done, I've pre-programmed a lot of the cue points at home. What you can also do is edit the track at home and burn the edit track without the intro on a CD, but you might want to use the track with intro for an encore or something. So my advice is just to use the cue cards and program the first kick drum of the track so it's ready when you want to go. Next to that, I've also programmed a few hot cues. A hot cue is basically you use the CDJ as a sampler. You jump instantly to another point in the track. So at home I programmed 3 points. It's blinking here, as you can see. That's cue point A. It's the starting point of the main theme of the track. Cue point B. It's the lead with the drums and everything. And cue point C is a quiet section in the record, which I can play with. Now with these 3 cue points organized, I can jump and make it interesting for the crowd. For example, if the record is playing and I'm near the breakdown, I can decide to jump to a quiet section and then cut it. Jumping back and forth between the quiet and the theme section. Just by using these 3 hot cue points that I already programmed at home. So it's very easy, and the crowd, you can play with the crowd and actually let them feel that what you're doing is kind of live. Okay, so we were playing this tune. I already know the key of this tune, so all I need to do is I need to put this track in sync. Now the CD players actually help you because it says it's 130 BPM. So I put this at 130 BPM as well, and then I start triggering the record. What you're hearing is this track and this track mixed together. As you can hear, the bass line is in the same key, so the mix doesn't sound awful or in a way because it's in the same key. Now the cool thing about the Pioneer 800 mixer is it also has some effects like delay and echo. Makes you look really cool with your friends if you use those. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it on the echo effects. This Pioneer already recognizes the tempo of the track if you put it in auto mode. So the CD player tells me this track is 130 BPM, and also the mixer tells me it's 130 BPM. So I can put the echo, which is like sort of the repeat of small sections of the record, in the same tempo as the track. So when I'm playing the track now from the beginning, and I'm turning the echo on, you get, it's nothing but an echo effect. But if you use that with the hot cues we just made as a sampler, you can make interesting edits of the track live on the fly. For example.